Good morning. This is the launch of another of my complete works. Usually one of the books are released on my birthday, and though a book was finished quite some time back, it's gone for copy editing, so it can't be released on birthday. That is number 9. That's a Bengali novel. This book is an English collection. Now, sometimes book releases are smooth without any glitches. This was entirely different. It was with hiccups in every step. Right from the book came in, the lamination was not done perfectly and had to be redone again and sent for redone. There was a problem with ebook making, second, and when listing in Amazon, there was a technical hitch in Amazon which they are still trying to sort out. So I do not know when the book will be reflected in Amazon, though it has been submitted. And they are looking, the back end, the computer, and they are looking into the matter. So amongst these hitches, when a book release, you are not in the best of the moods, even to say something about the book. Is it the right time that I am launching a book? Knowing that there are very limited readers, you still feel that at least I owe my sincerity. And sometimes with all the hitches, it makes you wonder whether I should stop writing books for a while. Books are for my pleasure. Whether the others read it, that is their issue, not mine. But then again, sometimes you want that everything to go smooth, but life is not smooth, and neither things go in the fashion that you envisaged. Now, coming back to this volume, this is a thriller volume, which is of 3 books. The first book is a Bengali translation of my bestseller novel, Chokro, which was done by my elder brother, Partha Pratim Rai, who himself has finished a book recently. And this book's name is Fulcrum. I'll show you the new book. This is the Fulcrum. The cover page is also designed by Partha Pratim Rai himself. When he did the translation, he, out of curiosity, he wanted to do the translation because he was so taken by the style and the concept of this Chokro, or the murder thriller. That was my first murder thriller, which I had written with the help of a lot of people. And it has been a bestseller now in its 2nd edition. The Fulcrum, when he translated the book Fulcrum, he added in certain things which he thought was missing in the original version, the first edition of Chokro. When the 2nd edition was due for release, I included those things that my brother had included. So it is not actually a direct translation, rather I would say it is a translation over and over. His input is important. I thank my brother Partha Pratim Rai for those inputs. Otherwise, this book wouldn't have been complete. And even after 11 years, if it sells even today, then there was something to it. Maybe the sale is less, but one which persists over time definitely has an impact somewhere. Because I have to try always to break the thriller genre into the 21st century concept. So far, both English and Bengali novels were following a pattern of detectives and whatnot concepts. And detective is a myth. It never works. You would find the introduction that detective for criminal investigation is just a myth. I have tried to give a different concept where there is no detective as such. In fact, the reader is searching for the detective as well as the murderer. So it's a double-barrel search, and it might be that out of the people who come with the theories, only one come up with the final jackpot. He can't be classified as, and he's not traditional detective. He's just an ordinary man who is in a casual sort of follow-up of the case. He comes across the jackpot as who is the murderer. So you have to be searching for him in the novel. So that is Fulcrum. It revealed a sort of new concept into the 21st century. And this was followed by another set of thrillers which are in my volume 1, which is Eternal Mayhem and Conundrum and other thriller books. In this volume, we have got another book, which is If. This was released last year. You can see the book If. This was released last year, and the cover page is by Aditi Chakraborty, a brilliant cover page. I thank Aditi Chakraborty for it. And this is about genetics and energy dynamics. Now, most of the writers have been from the literary field. Very few are from the scientific field who've gone into literary works. I happen to be fortunate, and in this connection, I must say, I have gone quite in detail and depth into quantum physics. Now, I had been fortunate enough to come in close contact with late Professor Aditi Chakraborty, Premchand Roy scholar, and one of the professors and head of the Department of Shah Institute of Nuclear Physics. When I started writing the book, that was a long time back. When I started writing the book, I did not know at what depth he had taught me. I am a doctor, plastic surgeon, and he had taught me physics to that level that I could go into quantum physics and write in depth about quantum physics. Obviously, nobody wants to hear quantum physics as such. So there is a thriller story in it, and I have made it to understand, so that the readers will understand the energy dynamics, the change of energy, the levitation concept. And in that, I have taken the reader to some Vimana script of old scriptures, from where the protagonist of the story, who is murdered in the first scene, gets this concept of physics. So it is not a non-fiction quantum physics, but rather a fully thriller. And there is another part to this thriller of this If. I have tried to write a bidirectional story. In this book, If, I have gone to write the story in a bidirectional format, which is the person who was murdered, what was he doing today morning, that day, yesterday night, in the evening, and then so on. And it goes in a reverse direction, in truest sense, not to a point of certain date and then flashback in the forward direction. And then the person who commits the murder, and he is murdered again, and this side goes in a forward direction to reveal a global plot. And both all meet at the end of the novel. So this is the unique of storytelling. I've tried to experiment. How far I have been successful, only time can say. But I have at least tried something with a detail of scientific knowledge of quantum physics, energy dynamics, which is one of the biggest crises of modern world today. And one of my close relatives, Dr. Aniruddha, who is a brilliant student of physics, he read the book, he gave a very good review, but at the same time, he suggested that I could have made it a little more lighter than going into too much intricate physics. Anyway, if you want to skip those pages, it doesn't make a difference, if at all anyone ventures to read it. And then this is the second volume, and the third volume is basically, again, another cover page designed by Aditi Chakraborty. This is Murdered in the Time of Corona. Now, Corona is the biggest issue, and we are in a closed system now. That means we are locked by the lockdown. During this lockdown period, I wrote this book and did this quite well. It's about how the whole lockdown system has converted us into a closed system. This is a closed system reality with few characters, and since people can't go out, everything is digital here. Digital investigations are done, which means WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. It's and the solution comes from those digital investigations. It is unique closed system stories are nothing new, and there have been a lot told, including that of famous Agatha Christie novel Murder in the on Oriental Express. But this is again, the situation is different. It is in Corona time, so the name is Murder in the Time of Corona, and where the whole lockdown is converted to a closed system, and ultimately you would be surprised when you come across who is actually the culprit. Anyway, that is part of the suspense thriller. In all of the books, you will get the same story. So coming back to the thrillers, I want to add in a few words before I call it a day. Is thrillers have aroused interest, drawn people in. People read more of thrillers. Their concept has changed. I'm not talking of the Indian concept. I'm talking of the Western concept, the one which basically started from the time of Edgar Allan Poe. It is to a modern 21st century era when you cannot point out that this is the detective. There is no detective who investigates. It's the machinery, the police, the reporters, those investigate. So the concept has changed, and I'm trying to, in all of my novels, I'm trying the same thing. At the end of it, there is a take-home message. When you finish the thrillers, what you take home? Is something knowledge or just a casual reading? I've tried to give some knowledge for those who want to read it and those who prefer to know some knowledge, know something without going into the details of the subject. I mean, people don't have the time of going to, you can't go into quantum physics, you can't go into medical, genetic cloning, whatever, and mathematics and other things. I have written on everything, but I have tried to give some idea to a reader on that subject, which is one of the burning topics of today. Now, obviously, I'm not in the best of the moods to go on too much, but anyway, just give you an idea of launching of the volume 4, which is being launched now, is here, and of the several volumes, this is the one which is the thriller volume, and I have detailed about my concepts about the thriller, murder, mystery, suspense thrillers, and how it has changed over the era. The change is important. I will not be there, but I have given you a concept, a new concept for you to follow, not to tread the old path. A new concept, as with a storyline, obviously, unless it's a gripping story, people won't read it. And by the sale figures, it's not too bad. Anyway, I'm not too much bothered about the sales right now because there are a lot of bits and bobs to sort out. This is the book. Again, I'll show you a picture, and I'll show you the picture. Here is the complete works and the 3 volumes it contains. I've shown you the complete works and the 3 volumes it contains. There is nothing much to say more because I'm not in the best of the moods after the hiccups that I'm going through, and hopefully it is sorted out. In the meantime, it is just an announcement, and I have nothing further to say. Have a nice day. All the best. hopefully better days will come. Thank you.